The time is here. The time is now. It is time for Queero. Welcome to the Queero song video storybook release party with Reverend Yolanda and guests. I'm one of the guests. I'm Nakia, but I'm also one of the hosts, and I'm here with my co-host, Joshua Pangborn of Sidekick Productions, who produces Skeleton Crew, Demon Doctor, Art of Blowing It web series that feature Reverend Yolanda in recurring roles. So that's pretty exciting. And shout out to Yolanda for having me.
Reverend Yolanda and I have worked together for 5 years, almost going on 6 years now. It's been something that she's been a constant in my life, and I'm very, very, very grateful that she's including me here tonight. I discovered she discovered me, I think, by submitting to Skeleton Crew in season 1, and I was so taken by her audition that I had to create a character for her. And because of that, that one little audition that had 2 days on set, and then from there she became a series regular for Skeleton Crew, and I had to keep her around for Demon Doctor. And actually, Monique Menard, who created the Art of Blowing It, loves Yolanda as well, and we knew we had to fit her into the Art of Blowing It, and we did. I can't imagine doing anything with Sidekick Productions without Yolanda. So I am so beyond grateful that she is a part of my life, and I'm so beyond grateful that she is having me here tonight with you, Nakia, to celebrate this amazing work that she's done with Ben.
Come back tomorrow and we'll try it again.
Which is from the Art of Blowing It trailer. So
the trailer, it's my favorite part of the trailer. That and maybe the sex with my mom thing is so funny. But anyway, so you know, there are so many great things about the roles that Reverend Yolanda has played and is playing in the Sidekick universe. But Reverend Yolanda has been on the scene making music and art and inspiring people for decades. And there's so many great things. If you happen to catch us when we hosted the Yolanda Nanda premiere, you know, we got a lot into, you know, some of her history. Go back and check that out on the previous broadcast at Reverend Yolanda's page, which we hope you're watching from right now. But don't forget that you can purchase Queero, the song that we're premiering the video of and storybook for tonight, either as a PDF or a hardcover physical storybook at yolandananda.net. And the address is right there. It's just going to be scrolling the whole time. And, you know, it's always good to enjoy art and partake in it. And as artists, we want to create and share, but it's also nice to when you get paid for it too. So they did a lot of work on this, and let's make sure to support Reverend Yolanda and all the creators who have helped to create Queero that we're going to learn about tonight. So let's bring in the center of Queero, the one and only Reverend Yolanda. Come on in here. Yeah. Oh, yes.
How y'all doing?
Hi, Yolanda.
Hey.
Hey,
everybody.
How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm great. I'm so filled with joy, and I'm so grateful for you two, and for my whole team, for Ben, and for Phil, and for Doreen, and for Jeff, and I can't wait to talk to everybody.
Well, happy Queero Day.
Thank you. Happy Queero Day. Yes.
We are so happy to be able to share this release of this video and storybook with you. I mean, I heard the song when we hosted your CD release party, and this was one of the ones that really just touched me more so than a lot of songs you hear nowadays. It's just such a beautiful song about LGBT allies. It's such a beautiful song about growing up as an LGBT individual, and I mean, the three of us can all understand what that is like, growing up in small towns where it's very, very different. When you're different, it's very different.
Yes.
So.
Well, and I also happen to grow up in a small town in Alabama, so I really get it. Yolanda, where did the idea of Queero come from?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, because that was actually one thing that I was going to mention to you that I discovered about you today, is that you grew up in Fort Payne, Alabama, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that just blows my mind. That's where the band Alabama
Yeah.
is from.
Correct.
Also, it's close to Florence and Muscle Shoals, which is
Yeah.
where I'm from. And also, it intertwines with the music industry there so much. So you have a natural, when I saw that, I was like, oh, of course. He's no wonder he's an amazing musician,
Oh,
So
well, I was very lucky to have some really good musical connections there for sure.
yeah.
And it sounds like you had a connection with a childhood friend. Tell us about that.
Yes, well, so this is based on a childhood friend of mine who really, her and her family really, really helped me with my self-esteem. So in 1960, Alabama, in school, like around fourth grade, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh grade is when Queero and I were really connected in this really intense way. I was very open. Yeah, that's me about junior high. I was very, very aware of my queerness. Like, I didn't know that I was trans, femme, gender, queer. That's how I know myself today, but I didn't have all of those words back then. But I knew I was not a boy, and I wasn't really a girl. I was something in between, leaning toward the femme, and I was very vocal about it. Like, I was proud, I was so excited that I knew who I was and that, I could figure it out. So I came to show and tell one day in the fourth grade with a magazine article from Time magazine that said, the article was called Homosexuality in America. And so it just, lumped everybody into this one thing, homosexuality, but it described, different kinds of people in the bars and the communities and stuff in San Francisco and New York. And I thought, oh my God, that's me, that's who I am, and I was really proud of that. So I went to school and I took the magazine article and stood in front of the class and said, I'm a homosexual.
Oh my goodness, in fourth grade?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, legendary story,
No, but that's a really brave thing to do, Yolanda.
Well, and it was funny because I didn't think about it being brave or anything. I was just like, oh my God, I know who I am, because I knew for such a long time that I was different than my brother and my father and other people around me, other male figures, So, I got sent to the principal's office. My parents were called. It was, it was a big deal and all that stuff. And I started getting bullied. And this is the point that I wanted to share. Like this, being bullied is, obviously horrible, for everyone. And what happened, and I'm not ashamed or have any hard feelings toward anybody I grew up with. And at the same time, I want to say how difficult an experience that was. And we don't have to do that to children, There's no reason why we should be doing that to children, for some toxic masculine purpose, you know what I mean? So I've worked out so much of that anxiety and those feelings, but the first person that really helped me work on that was my friend Queero. And she was a popular girl in school, and I felt just so much joy that she was my friend, And so we created what we call the Witch Club, because we were witches and we are witches to this day. And Queero, there we go. Yes, double toil and trouble. And for many years, me and Queero lost touch with each other because I moved away and many years passed. Finally, I found her on Facebook, and at my mother's funeral, we were able to see each other for the first time in 40 years or something like that. And she's still the most wonderful person ever, and is so involved in politics and social justice and everything in our hometown. And I'm so full of joy and gratitude that we're still friends, you know. And so, mwah, I love you, Queero. And she said she'd probably be watching tonight, so if we get a message from her, she might pop one in there. I'm not sure.
That was the first time in about 40 years we've seen each other.
I know, isn't that wild?
And the video that we're watching tonight with the storybook was really kind of a team effort by a bunch of different folks we're going to have on the show, but it was really inspired by this relationship, right?
It was definitely inspired by this relationship. And the funny thing about this song was that the divine feminine, the goddess, if you will, woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning one night with the chorus. I am Queero, I am Queero. And I kept hearing that in my head at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what? And it was right then and there that I wrote down the story, and it's practically verbatim as to how I wrote it.
That's amazing.
It was amazing. It was truly amazing. So I felt like this was something that, you know, the goddess, if you will, wants me to share, you know, with the world. So when I got introduced to Ben Wu, who we'll meet here in just a minute, I was overjoyed because he absolutely read the pictures in my mind. He just like pulled them out of my mind and created this beautiful work, you know. So I'm very, very happy about that. And I want to bring Ben in, but before we do, I just want to give us a moment of centering because we have so much to be grateful for. And even in hard times, we have a lot to be grateful for. So I want to give us a moment of what I call the Circle of Love meditation. We, you and I here in this room, on this broadcast, we are intentionally creating a circle of love. And this circle of love comes from within us because it is who we are. We are made of love. We are divine expressions of love. And everything in this circle of love, this unconditional love in our world, everything that we like and everything that we do not like is included. And so tonight, may we learn and grow from each other and our stories. Stories are so important. We celebrate our stories and our allies, and we learn from things that we don't like, and we allow ourselves to grow. And so it is. Blessed be. Yay! Oh, I'm having a hard time hearing.
I think Nakia muted himself.
That was so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I'm really at this time in our lives, we know how important it is. I'm going to put a plug in here to vote in 2 weeks here, you know, because we know how important that is. And during this time, I'm so intent on integrating the light and the dark within myself, to seeing the places where I need to grow, you know. And in this focus, I see lots of people doing the same thing. So vote and do not be disheartened, you know. And even when you are disheartened, realize that there are others, so many of us in the world, that are moving consciousness toward a more beautiful experience. You know?
I love that.
So.
and we're going to meet some of those people right now.
Yay!
We are. I think let's bring in your first guest then. We have the artist of the video and storybook, Ben Wu.
There he is.
Yay!
Hi, Ben. Welcome. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about who you are and how to find your artwork and how you came up to be with Reverend Yolanda?
Well, I'm an illustrator and an author, and I had been introduced to the Radical Fairies, and from there I met a very nice guy who introduced me to Yolanda. And once I met her, I I wanted to work on the project. You know, it resonated with me because I grew up in a very similar situation in Tennessee. And how can you pass up a chance to work with a goddess? You know.
Oh, you are so sweet, Ben, and your work is so amazing. Like I said before, I'm so grateful to Eugene who introduced us. But during this process, it was amazing how you connected with the song and actually pulled images, from my mind. You were so easy to work with. I loved it when you sent me these sketches, and this is one of the first ones of casting spells on bullies and bitches, which I was so thrilled about. Your work is so amazing.
Whenever I got the material and I heard your song for the first time, I don't know, it just clicked. And when you work on art projects, there's just certain things, it's like magic, kismet, I don't know what to call it. Excuse me. The goddess flowing through us. But whenever I seen that, I don't know, it just flowed. It's really hard to explain.
Wow.
I'm more comfortable illustrating my own words and stuff. But once I seen yours, it was just happened.
Wow, that's really awesome.
It was a very beautiful, wonderful thing.
Well, we are so excited
and
to see it all.
Go ahead, Ben.
Well, I just want to say one thing, Yolanda. You look beautiful tonight.
Oh,
I am completely amazed by your beautiful outfit.
Oh,
I'm having palpitations over here.
Yolanda's not only sending out love into the internet tonight, into the world, she's sending out fever.
Viva! I give you fever. That is so wonderful. Thank you, Ben, for sharing. And I want everybody to know about Ben's artwork. Could you put up yes, there we go. Patreon.com/Ben Wu Loves You. And when you see Ben's work, you will feel that love. It's so storybook. It reminds me of wonderful childhood stories. And correct me if I'm wrong, Ben, but you also have an affinity for Halloween and possibly witchcraft and those kinds of stories and stuff like that, because I can sort of see it in your work, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Magic is one of those which it's just part of me, I guess.
Exactly. Yay! We're witchy. We're witchy. We're witchy.
We lost Ben. We'll put him right back in. There he goes. All right, there we are. Awesome.
Yay.
Well, we're definitely glad to have you on the show, and we've got to bring in some of these other folks that are a part of all of this. So let's bring in our next guest. They are the spiritual advisor, singer, songwriter, and co-creator of Church with a 2 Drink Minimum. Oh wait, she can't be here tonight, but we're going to talk about her anyway. We want everybody to know how much we love Doreen. Doreen was a part of the last broadcast we did, but she couldn't join us in person tonight. But we believe she might have been tuned in earlier. In fact,
oh, there she goes.
Loves your outfit, Reverend Yolanda. Yolanda, can you say a few words about Doreen for us?
Oh, I could talk for hours about Doreen. So could Phil, I'm sure, and so could Jeff, I'm sure, because we all love Doreen. Like the the joy and spiritual just light that surrounds Doreen is palpable. And she has been we've been friends now for 16 years or so. And a lot of that time, she was living in California. We met in New York, and then she had to move to California. But we would talk on the phone for hours. And I knew that Doreen was an amazing singer, but we never had a chance to sing together until 5 years ago, about the time I met you, Josh. And we started, you know, Church with a 2-Drink Minimum, and all of the things that we is singing at different churches all over town. And then we met Phil and became involved with recording artist development, and that just nourished our soul, both of us, you know. And so Doreen has been a part of this journey in an amazing way for many, many years. And she is my modern day Queero.
Oh, I love that. And you know, since you brought him up, let's go ahead and get Phil Carroll in here. My guess is wherever Phil is right now, there's a piano in front of him.
Yes!
You know, that's probably what's happening.
There is.
Surprise, shocker. Welcome back to the show, Phil.
Thanks for having me. Oh my gosh, it was so wonderful to hear you talk, Yolanda. And shout out to Doreen. We hope you feel better. So I guess I should talk a little bit about how I met you, Yolanda.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so as we were saying, I'm the creative director for a nonprofit label called Recording Artist Development. And we specialize in LGBTQ, especially trans and non-binary artists. And I think my intern, Katie Lauheim, found you. And we met, you remember her?
Yes.
It was a long time ago. And we met at the Malibu Diner.
Right.
And it's just been, it was love at first sight. And
it was.
It's only like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, but it feels like a lifetime. So Yolanda and I we've been making music ever since. I don't know how many songs we've worked on. We've done Church with a 2-Drink Minimum. And I was just, it's always wonderful working with Yolanda because she's a real artist, and she brings everything to you. She brings you the passion, she brings you the vision, she brings you the creativity, and I'm astounded. I mean, you just keep writing songs, Yolanda. I mean, it's like, she's like, we're working on a song, we're recording. She's like, oh, I wrote 5 more. And then like the next day, she's like, oh, I have another album done. And it's just like, I'm like astounded.
Oh, thank you, Phil. Oh, well, and it's such a joy, you know, to work with you because you get me, and you know, and your ability to work in so many different musical styles is astounding to me, you know. So I know, my beautiful Phil. I've done this. So Yolanda Nanda is my second album with you. My first project with you I call Transcendence, and that has 3 amazing songs on there. And you just easily shifted into my mantra experience, you know, and I was amazed and thrilled by that, you know.
I love that. Phil, can you talk a little bit about how Yolanda brought you Queero and that y'all developed the song together?
Well, yeah, I think Yolanda, she came in with her guitar and she showed me the song. And so it was in the context of one of our production sessions. So we had a bunch of guest listeners and we workshopped it. And right away, I was like, oh my God, this is the most amazing story song I have ever heard. And it's a story song for, you know, our family, our gay, trans, queer family. And I'd never heard a song like that before. And it was just so beautiful. We came up with the concept that it was going to be like a campfire song. like maybe you would hear it at a around the campfire at a gay camp or something. or and so that's kind of how we imagined that we were all sitting around a fire, and there was a drummer around the fire and the guitarist, and then the whole chorus of Queero people, and then Doreen had she got to do some vocals as Queero, and then there's this big chorus at the end, and so that was kind of the concept, and it developed organically. We didn't have to really do that much.
Truly, it was it was an amazing experience. Everything about this last album with you was incredible. In that, I just also wanted to mention how deftly, how expertly you were able to weave in all of the chants and things that I had written, because I wanted to sing Double Double Toil and Trouble, Fire Burning Cauldron Bubble, and I wanted to do the Kali chant, because the Kali, the goddess Kali, to me is so important to incorporate. Thank you, Kali. Thank you, Kali.
Yes, Kali.
She shows us what we need to let go of, and sometimes that can be very traumatic, and burn away my pain, burn away my shame. That's what I was feeling like, when we were when Queero and I were doing our little thing together, our witchcraft stuff together.
I love that. That's so cool. It's really such a great song, and we got, of course, to hear it at the premiere at the Yolanda and Nanda show that we hosted before, but we didn't have quite the lineup of folks who had worked on it, and tonight we have a very special guest who's going to be joining us. He is a Grammy Award-winning producer, and he is involved in this. We've got to bring him in here. Let's get Jeff Jones, a.k.a. the Jedi Master, over here. Hi, Jeff. Welcome.
Hey, Jeff. Thanks for joining us.
Yay.
Now, Jeff, it's great to have you on. Can you tell us about your many talents and how you came to work with Reverend Yolanda?
I can see stuff, and I understand frequency on a spiritual level, and I think that the first time I heard a song that Yolanda had done, I described the setting, that it was the concept of the setting, like, okay, and then this person came in, and then the organ was too heavy, so they played it in the hallway, but they listened in.
Yeah.
And that was exactly what her concept was.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had a Vulcan mind meld.
Yes.
At that point, and then every song that I commented on from that point on, she went, yes, you're right.
It's true.
So
yeah,
I got her.
Yep.
And when I heard Queero, I just recognized it as anthemic and important to just important to be heard. And I just, I think if you say positive stuff, positive things happen. And
that's so true.
So I say stuff like, money comes to me easily. I heard Queero and I said, that's in a movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a message that everyone needs to hear. And so I just right then went up and said, I want to remix this, and committed myself to that, and spent a lot of time working on her performance, and just got everything just like that as much as possible.
You did an amazing job on that, Jeff.
Yeah.
And
it was amazing. And the drummer that you added, just took it over the top. I don't know where you found that musician, but oh, really beautiful.
Well, you've definitely got me excited for it now. And so once we combine this amazing song with what the world is about to see is an amazing story that goes along with it in this video that is created by so many folks who are sending love out into the universe. Let's go ahead and share that with the world now. Are we ready?
Well, before we do, just for 1 second, I want to thank, because I saw some pop-ups on the screen, and I know that there are people from my hometown watching tonight, and I just want to thank you. I just really, really want to thank you, Anita. And I know there are others too that are watching. And I want you to know that I love you, and all of the experiences that I went through, were for the growth and the healing of who I am today. And I love my hometown, and I love my friends that I grew up with, and I thank everyone there for contributing to my growth and development. So this is an homage to growing up in this wonderful time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, and don't forget while you're watching this that you can purchase Queero the song, the storybook, as either a PDF or a hardcover physical copy of the storybook at yolandananda.net, which is down there. Josh,
you can also get the CD where the whole kit and caboodle of all of Yolanda Nanda as well. Right. So that's also a good idea, because this is an amazing song, but there's a lot of other wonderful, amazing songs on here. So, but now here's Queero.
They called her Queero. She was my friend. She was my shero. We would proclaim that we were witches, and we cast spells on bullies and bitches. We'd say, burn away my shame. Burn away my pain. I am Queero. I am Queero. In junior high, she became a cheerleader, and I became the one who was queerer. And when everyone else was embarrassed of me, Queero became like family. We'd say, burn away my shame. Burn away touch. The pain of losing Queero was too much. But the memory of our friendship made me strong to face my hardships for many years to come. My Facebook searches found a woman who grew from that girl. I finally felt her loving embrace at my mother's funeral. She's still my friend. She's still my hero. Living in our hometown, she fights for rights for all of us Queeros. We still cast spells on bullies and bitches, 'cause me and Queero, we're powerful witches. And we say, burn away our shame. Burn away our pain. We are Queero. We are Queero.
We are Queero. That's I was tearing up during this. It's such a beautiful song.
Oh man,
It,
we
it
are
is
Queero.
so beautiful. It just I know Yolanda talked about it earlier. The election coming and everything. I mean, this really just strikes me. I mean, and those beautiful illustrations by Ben. I mean, they just
Beautiful.
they I'm getting a little emotional. But
It's so beautiful.
it's a very beautiful moment, and I am so grateful that we are all Queero here together. Let's bring everyone back in, Nakia, so we can talk about the video and see what everyone thought.
Yeah, I had a question for Ben. Ben, I noticed in one of the panels, there was somebody watching they were looking at a laptop, and on the screen there was a picture of a man and a quote that said, "Re-examine everything you've been told." What was that about?
Well, Walt Whitman, of course.
That's what I
When I
thought.
was young, I read. Yeah. When I was young, I read Walt Whitman, and I didn't really get it until I turned 40, and it just really resonated with me, especially that quote.
It's a beautiful quote for a beautiful piece of art from you and from Yolanda and Jeff and Phil. Thank you so much. What did y'all think, Jeff, about seeing the video this way? How did it look? What did you like about it?
Oh man, it's growing. It's like just this party is evidence that it's growing. You know what I mean? It's like it's growing, it's multiplying, it's it's just growing, and that's what it feels like. And that was the purpose of putting the extra time in and mixing it and doing that. I mean, because it's important that it grows, and it's important that it's just important.
Well, and something else that's important, Jeff, since we're talking about the mix, folks at home, remember, you're hearing like a piece of audio that's been compressed like multiple times. If you want the real good quality, the best thing to do is go to yolandananda.net. This is just like this is just a little taste to get you started. But you need to go get the physical product from yolandananda.net or the download, and then it'll sound absolutely much better on your own headphones and stuff than it does coming through Facebook audio stream.
Right, of course. It's absolutely glorious when you put it on the speakers or on your headphones and surround yourself. Those drums, it's so gorgeous, you know. So all of Phil and Jeff's, you know, work with me has been just so high quality and perfection. So, you know, you really do want to hear it as it's recorded, and so go over there and get it.
To me, the most gorgeous part is the message and the spirit of the message and the way that it's put together in terms of the story, and that's the lead. That's the lead to the whole thing.
Absolutely. I mean,
everything else is background, you know.
If I had a song like this when I was a gay little boy, I would have been singing this all the time, and I would have felt so much different about everything. I'm so glad that this song exists because of that. Because people who are growing up now have a song that they can look at and realize that they're not alone, and that just means so much.
Well, and you know, let's take a moment to remind folks at home that Queero as a piece of art even is really a great opportunity for you to figure out, like, oh, wait, there was a Queero in my life. Maybe you can go reconnect with your Queero, and you can tell your own Queero story and tell them how they changed your life. Or maybe you already have that same connection with them and you can choose to make it stronger. But even better, you can choose to tell your story and share how Queero has inspired you to come forward with your own Queero story. Because the growing up, as hard as it is, growing up as a queer child is really difficult for anybody. But as somebody who grew up in rural Alabama, who did try several times as a young person to announce, hey, by the way, I'm not like everybody else, and got bullied because of it, it's really, really hard. So what a beautiful way to not only to share this music with folks, but really to encourage folks to everybody should be a little bit more like Queero, right? Like that's really the truth. And Phil, as somebody who runs a nonprofit, you know, can you talk a little bit about how great it must feel for you to see a project like this come out of the work that you do?
It's just wonderful. First of all, Ben, I just have to tell you, those are like the most beautiful illustrations I've ever seen in my life for a children's book. Those are gorgeous.
Thank you.
And they remind me, when I was little, I was obsessed with witches. Surprise, surprise.
Witches!
I just watched Hocus Pocus again last night.
Oh, it's so fabulous. I love that.
It reminded me of, I used to collect all the witch books. And it reminded me of a lot of those books that looked just like that. Just took me right back to the 70s. I mean, in a beautiful way. And this, for what we're doing at Recording Arts Development, this is, I couldn't be happier and prouder of these kind of songs. And we're working with a lot of different trans artists, trans femme, trans masculine, and this is just, it's exactly what we want to be doing, and I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud that it's out there in the world, Yolanda, and I just, your feminine divine energy is just so beautiful, and it is so, Jeff, you brought it out. It's just all over the song, and the illustrations. I'm almost too emotional to talk because it's just so gorgeous. So,
I'm so glad
you so much for sharing that.
Yes, thank you,
and thanks for being here tonight for sure. You know, Jeff, Do you have any final words that you want to? We know how important it is. Anything else that you want to say about the project, or say to Yolanda and Ben and Phil?
I love you.
Aww.